we're going to get into the regular episode.
In the regular.
I'm going to turn this over to the regular episode. I'm going to start the timer. And we
Regular style.
Hey, one time?
You know what's weird?
What?
So I went to the Speedway, and I saw on the bottom of my can, it's our theme song.
That's the wrong time.
Oh.
So we're starting the episode with the theme song now that's on the
No.
bottom of the can?
I'm sorry.
Is that what happens now?
No, it just came
You
to
just
me, and I
really
was
like
this
our
would be
theme
really
song.
funny.
Horse Maze did a great job.
They really did.
They did a really great
Black
job.
Flag, I feel, did a really good job with the new intro.
They did. I think
And I'm
they did
excited
too.
about it.
Yeah, that comes later after this part. See, this is the part of the episode where we begin the episode and we talk about things.
Yeah, I know.
Are you okay? What happened
I'm
to you?
disappointed in myself.
Yeah, well, you just got excited. I'm glad you're
Yeah.
excited. Being
Also, I'm
excited is
kinda
good.
thirsty.
You thirsty? You
I
gotta
was
crack open a
like,
cold
It
one.
was a good reason to get a drink.
So this week, we have plenty of things to talk to you about that we have researched and looked up and brought together as a sequel to last week. But I'll get into that here in a little bit. Tiny,
Yeah.
if you had to eliminate one fast food item from the town we live in and replace it with something else, what would that be?
Okay. I would eliminate ranch dressing.
No. I mean, if you had to eliminate one fast food restaurant,
Oh, one just whole restaurant?
one fast food restaurant from
Oh.
the place we live in,
Okay, I thought
and
you
replace it
meant
with
item.
some. No.
Okay,
one
okay, I
restaurant.
understand now.
One fast food restaurant and replace it with a different one. Which
Oh.
one would you do?
Dunkin', and I would make that back into a Jack in the Box.
Ooh, that on the corner Jack in the Box.
Yes.
Man, that'd be a lot of people's coffee gone though. That place
don't
stays
care.
hopping.
I've been through there exactly one time. The donuts were not even mediocre.
No, nobody goes to Dunkin' Donuts for
The
donuts.
coffee was trash. My mother liked them. I'm like, these are the most mediocre donuts I've ever had.
Yeah, even Krispy Kreme wasn't like the best anymore whenever he had a store here.
Exactly. And what
Like,
made me
even when the hot sign was on, you go in and be like, oh man, yeah, this is hot plastic.
Yeah, well, my thing is, why not go to Ralph's? They were literally the best until they got sold to somebody who doesn't give a shit.
Oh, they not owned by the same folk no more?
Nope.
Damn, why? When they get out?
They got real old, so they decided we can't keep up with this anymore, so we're just going to sell to a younger couple. They gave them the recipes, everything, and they evidently just do not follow the recipe or the quality up to Ralph's standards.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Because Big O's not 24 hours anymore.
I know. Big O's used to be the bad local donut place, and now it's the better local donut place if you happen to see it open.
I never thought Big O's was bad.
I mean, I never thought they were bad.
They were just second place.
They were second place.
But that was
of
on-
two, that means they're last.
But if I was to get depression food at one
Also,
point,
where was you going to go get a cream-filled donut at 3 a.m.?
Big O.
Exactly.
Ralph's was not 24 hours.
Exactly.
Big
Shit.
O was the place I used to go back when I was in college, and I would take my laptop and because they had Wi-Fi.
They did.
Like, it's one of the first public Wi-Fis that I could think of besides being at school.
Yeah, and they didn't care if you just sat there and hung out as long as you bought at least one donut.
Yeah, and I would buy more than just one donut.
Yeah.
I was a very portly young man, so I was all about.
I mean, I had a group of friends. We would just go there and hang out early in the morning or late at night, depending on your point of view of things.
Yeah, I mean,
We were 2 to 3 a.m. regs.
yeah, that'd be the best time to go because
Yeah.
I mean, you would just be in there with whoever you're hanging out with, and occasionally you'd see some people that were having a wild night
Oh
that
yeah,
just needed something sweet.
yeah. And you would see the guy that lived in the van that was parked, beside the parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
He'd be sitting there on his laptop doing whatever he did.
Whatever he did.
Yeah. Sometimes Swiss played World of Warcraft. Other times, looked like he was tapping into the Matrix.
Yeah, yep. I can remember. Was that the dude that was always there on the playing World of Warcraft?
Barefoot, long
Yeah.
beard. Yeah, Swiss.
Oh, I never knew name.
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, he and I had some long conversations.
I can remember going
Most of
there.
the time he was cool, but then he got a little weird. He was always weird.
I can remember going there
Weirder.
eating enough donuts to get sick, just because
It was easy to do.
Well, spice was a thing at one point. You never knew what you were going to get every time you smoked spice because there was always some different variant that they just had not made illegal yet, and it was research chemicals. Ugh. At one point, though, I did smoke some spice that would make you so hungry that you just had to pinky out, fancy boy.
No, I had to.
That you just had to.
Not a sponsor, but you could be.
You could be.
I would drink you every time.
I'd rather have liquid death than smoke my death the way that I used to with spice.
No, this can, the contents murder your thirst.
Now I did get depressed one time, and because I do have that, the ups and downs.
I mean, we all have that.
We all do. But I was in a real kind of a down kind of thing, and I got a thing of spice. It was called Black Rooster, and I got 12 Ralph's Twists.
They were good.
And this was probably year.
Wait. This is Big O's.
No.
Oh, you got. Oh, okay.
This was the Ralph's was open.
Okay.
Ralph's was open. I was planning ahead because I was going to try to make myself feel better.
Okay.
So instead, I was going to share with everybody because I was going over to Dane's old house that he used to have that was called the nut sack. That's what
makes sense.
It was called the nut house. Yeah, the nut house.
I mean, some nuts lived there.
Yeah, a bunch of nuts lived there. That's all that was, just boys. It was just nuts, just all the time. But the at the nut house, they had a theater seating that they just had 2 couches in the living room, but it was one here and then the other one here, kind of thing, theater seated.
Yeah.
So I went to the back couch, and I took a few puffs off of a pipe, with the Black Rooster in there, and I was just getting the feeling of it and everything, and then it hit me just weird because it wasn't the same as the last time. Because I didn't know anything about it. I mean, hindsight, of course, is perfect vision, but I was made of electricity, not like I could see it, but I was just
you could feel it,
made of electricity, and I got so hungry. I ate every one of those twists.
I mean, and that's a feat because they're not them thin, wispy donuts. They're thick and chewy donuts.
They're this big.
Mm-hmm.
Every one of them.
Yeah. And they're the cakey kind of donuts, which are the best kind.
Yeah.
Don't come at me with that airy bullshit.
Now, CH Donut in Sparta does have a fantastic...
No, they come at me with that airy bullshit.
Dude, that airy bullshit is kind of good, though, if you get the right kind.
That it's gross. I will take that over a Walmart donut.
I would rather have 12 airy bullshit donuts than pound down, 3.5 pounds of dough. And then I couldn't walk the next day.
It's not about the next day. It's about today. God gave you 2 feet. You only need one of them.
No, literally, I woke up and I had fallen asleep on the couch after eating that. And I'd put a DVD in. I think it was Electra. So I laid down on the couch and I was watching the DVD and I went to sleep and I just woke up and nobody had said anything or woke me up or anything, but it was 4 a.m. and I'd just been out. So they just left me asleep on the couch. Up, Austin's sleeping. Here we go. But yeah, I think that my restaurant that I would replace, I would replace Burger King next to 111.
Yeah, the bad one.
With a White Castle.
Ooh. I don't even have to argue that. That means I could, if I wanted to, walk there.
Just imagine you get a craving for some food. It doesn't even have to be White Castle. You just need food.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, what's open? White Castle.
Yeah.
Oh, in case anybody hears some booms, people have been shooting off fireworks in my neighborhood. I don't know why. People have fireworks, and they bought them at the store, so now they can just shoot them off in the neighborhood.
Juneteenth?
I don't know.
I mean, it's almost that day.
I don't even know.
I don't know.
Anyway. You know what's better than fireworks, though? Can you still see on the bottom of that can?
Oh, God, it's still there!
It's the theme song! Hi, everybody. I'm Austin Shazam
I need a hero.
Pfeiffer.
And I'm Austin Tiny Zent.
And we have the meats.
We have the meats.
We are Nerded Through the Grapevine, the podcast where your best friends gather weekly to talk about our favorite parts of past, present, and future nerd culture. This week, we're coming at you with the sequel to last week's episode. Last week, we got into some talks about your bad guy motif and your what makes a villain. This week, we're coming at you with the same idea with heroes.
And it's not because we're running out of ideas. It just seemed appropriate.
Yeah, I mean, heroes and good guys. Plus, I mean, we consume a lot of different medias. I myself have been rewatching every Disney movie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking like Disney Animated Studios movies, not like
Yeah.
Disney original movies like Johnny Tsunami and Brink and all those.
I mean, those were good too, but I knew what you meant.
It has no relevance to my wife because she's young.
It's true.
I'm like, hey, did you ever watch Brink? You know, with like Team Pup and such? She's like, huh? I'm like, the Black
Sad.
Ranger had the worst haircut ever in that movie.
Yeah.
Do you remember it? If you don't remember it, you can look it up. Walter Jones
Oh, yeah.
haircut
Oh, yeah.
Brink.
Because wasn't it like them like fat dreads, but they were just at the top of his head?
Nah, son. Nah, I'll look it up for you right now. It's worth looking at in case you don't
I mean,
remember.
I got the Crestuder.
Yeah, I mean, we can race for it if you'd like to.
I mean, I've already clicked the browser.
Uh-huh. Walter Jones haircut Brink.
It's still thinking.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I just got through typing.
Oh, now I got to put in my password.
Oh, there it is. This is, of the haircuts I have seen, this is one of them. I don't know why they decided to do this man so dirty, but they made his hairline just a complete oval, straight line oval.
I'm not looking.
Are you still looking it up on yours?
I just clicked images.
It's straight line oval.
Yeah.
Ow, my elbow.
I mean,
Why?
now, here,
Why'd they do that to him?
now look, my boy had kind of that hairline anyway.
Not that bad.
No.
No, not that
It
bad.
looks like they've painted in
Yes, to complete the circle.
to do that.
That's a circlet.
They went, do you know what the most appealing thing about a person is? You know, what would make a man the most handsome man in the world? What if his face was just a fucking ball?
You know, an oval face is one thing, but a mirrored oval face is a different one. It looks like in a perfect mirrored circle that they did to him. Like I've got
to click away. It's so bad.
I know it's like once you've seen, it can't be unseen. I'm missing key opportunities to push my echo button.
Yep.
I am. Why are you yawning?
It just seemed like the thing to do.
What? Why?
I don't know. Sometimes you just gotta yawn.
Nuh-uh.
I just had a wheezy giggle.
That's my band name.
Mm-hmm.
That's my new recent.
Is it kind of like?
One, two, 3. Yeah, one of them.
We did good.
Yeah, we can. Yeah.
That's the first time we just immediately dove into the same genre.
Yeah, we did a
Didn't
good
have
job.
to think about it.
It's a fun time. In case you want to do that with your friends, just replace "That's What She Said" with "That's my band's name."
Yeah,
it's a much more fun game to play because then you got to think of what kind of music it goes with.
Mm-hmm. And it's better than the .com.
It is a little bit better than .com.
The .com sometimes you can just throw that around willy nilly.
Yeah, and it gets to
that's
be
my band name. You got to think about it a little more.
Yeah, and it gets to be in the kind of repetitive thing that like my old like I don't know like 6th, 7th grade joking self would say like naked, you know, just like right at the very end of a sentence like naked, you know, that thing.
No.
Okay, and if I find a situation to where it's appropriately going to fit later, I will discuss it with you. Naked.
Gotcha.
See, like that.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Like the fortune cookie thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. I got you.
Yeah. So, with your bad guys and your villains, one technically had to be the other, and
Yeah.
one could
Well, a
not.
villain is always a bad guy, but a
Yes,
bad guy is not always a villain.
correct.
It's like squares and rectangles.
And just like, but that's weird with heroes because heroes are not always good guys,
Yeah.
and good guys are not always heroes.
Yeah. Well, the anti-hero is a thing that exists.
That is true, but it's not a hero.
It's not. It's
It is.
like some weird third other.
Yeah, yeah. It's. I don't know. It's not a hero. It's a hero in their eyes, kind of deal. That
Well,
is
no,
for a common.
well, like Deadpool oftentimes is a hero in a lot of people's eyes.
Yes.
He just also does just shit that he shouldn't, like cocaine.
Yeah. And call himself Marvel Jesus,
Yeah.
even though, I
Mhm.
mean,
And having to do stuff with the little hand before it become a big hand.
I
I laughed real hard.
that
Not
is
gonna lie.
that's funny.
It was very funny.
That's funny. I brought some
How big
things.
is your hand right now? It's about the size of a KFC spork. God. Oh man. I laughed so hard at that. Shoo.
I wonder if he had actually had if they just CGI'd something in there, or if he'd really had like a little baby doll hand or something
I
like
think it
inside
kind of
his-
did one of these, if
Uh,
I remember.
Because I mean, I didn't know if they were able to CGI just whatever, however nowadays, or if he could have had like a little doll arm in real life for them to react to.
Either way, it would have been funny.
The aspect of heroes, as separated by my listings, can separate them into different things as if definition and scope. Definition for hero would be somebody admired for courage, noble acts, or self sacrifice. Whereas a good guy is a person who is morally good or on the right side of a conflict.
Okay, I can see that
There's-
definition.
Their scope of a good guy, it might be a supporting or peripheral character. That's typically the scope of a good guy, how it's written in.
Yeah.
Just your standard good guy, like your standard bad guy.
Yeah.
And a hero is usually central to the story, often with a significant impact. Good chug?
It was good. I was thirsty.
Feel better?
Mhm.
Traits and actions.
It's gonna be a good burpee later too.
It would have already been out of me.
Mine, you got to perfect them.
So traits and actions. Actions of a hero would be performs extraordinarily brave deeds and may face great risk, whereas the good guy acts decently and morally, but is not necessarily putting himself in harm's way heroically.
I mean, they still could be though. They
They could,
still could be.
but if they are just a good guy and not a heroic good guy, then they are not going to be taking steps out of your standard.
I think that's a little too much semantics, in my opinion, because, like, for instance, the cops in Hancock at the bank robbery, they were in harm's way.
Mm-hmm.
They just really couldn't do anything.
But they were good guys.
They were good guys, yes.
But were they heroes? Did they accomplish anything?
No, they tried.
They tried. So that's why there's a hero in one of my animes I watched.
Well, I mean, your definition said that they don't put themselves in harm's way.
Oh, it's not necessarily that they're going to, but it says not necessarily heroic, as in they've accomplished something.
Right.
So, just like there's a character that is a hero in an anime that I watch called One Punch Man. His name is Moomin Rider. And Moomin Rider is literally just a dude on a bicycle that dresses in a suit to try to make himself look a little Sentai-ish. And he has no superpowers, but he's still like a D-grade hero, and he still takes care of like local small stuff to where he can like help kittens out of trees or doing this and that. Well, Moomin Rider went from just this good guy into a
Woman?
Moomin.
Movement.
Moomin.
Okay.
But he went from the point of being just your standard, good guy doing the morally correct things to being the heroic good guy whenever he stepped in front of a foe that was strong enough to be killing like A grade heroes. So it's like he was still willing to put himself up in front of the people and sacrifice himself in order to fight this character that is way stronger than him. So, and he survived, and the distraction that he made by giving enough time between him showing up and starting to fight the big bad, and then the big bad actually getting beaten. If he hadn't have showed up and delayed him, he would have gotten to the people and killed them. So he didn't die or anything. So he got to live to be a hero, as opposed to just having to be forced to be a good guy because he was powerless.
Yeah.
So that was a pretty cool. What you got?
Oh, I was just looking up something for later.
Oh, what is it?
It goes along with the individual that I was looking up this week, because I kind of dug into some real life heroes because I feel like their stories should be told, and sometimes we need a pick me up inspiration thing, and sometimes it just feels good.
Yeah.
So I come across this man named Helgi Meyer. What? I did.
I'm 12.
Helgi?
No, just the way that you said, I come across this man.
No, I did come across Helgi Meyer. I heard what you said. I heard what you heard, but it's okay.
Continuing.
So, he was a Danish man living in Bolivia, around about Bolivia. It was during the time of the Bolivian Civil War. The UN, for one reason or another, was not going to send aid into the country. Well, Helgi, he goes, well, there's kids in there that need stuff. So, if nobody else is going to do it, I'm going to do it. So he teams up with the U.S. And mind you, like back in the day before because he was retired pretty much at this point. He was Danish Special Forces. He had worked and trained with Green Berets. Like, he was an accomplished, badass military guy.
Mm-hmm.
So he hooks up with the U.S. and he goes, look, I'm willing to do the one-man army type deal and take supplies into Bolivia to hand out to these kids so they don't starve to death. And America goes, you know what, motherfucker, we in. So Helgi Meyer was given what would forever be known as the Ghost Camaro. It was a 1979 Chevy Camaro. Now, it became so much more than that. They painted it with a special matte black paint that absorbed infrared and made it undetectable to radar. They took out all the side windows and the back windows, put in armor plates. They gave it run flat tires. It had a 5.7 liter V8 that they had tuned to 220 horsepower, and they equipped it with a nitrous oxide system that would boost it to 440 miles per hour.
And when was this?
This was during the Bolivian Civil War. This car could go from 0 to 125 miles per hour in 13 seconds, fully loaded with 880 pounds of supplies. That's a lot. It had a fire suppression system. It had infrared headlights and cameras so he could drive at night with no lights. And it had a bump bar and a custom like push bar on the front that would like knock mines and debris out of the road. And
I don't know if a 200 horsepower motor would be enough. Is that?
It was a big V8.
Yeah,
This is a muscle car.
Yeah, but they got way more than just 200 horses.
No. The old ones like that, no, not unless they've done a lot of work to them.
Huh.
At the time, this was a ridiculously equipped vehicle.
Yeah, but
in the horsepower department. They also stripped out a bunch of like backseat, insulation. Like it's a rolling armored shell.
Okay.
That is scooting.
Continue.
The equipment that he carried with him was a Kevlar vest and a Kevlar helmet and his Bible.
Okay.
He earned the nickname God's Rambo. And he completed over 100 supply runs into Bolivia, helping children and families in need.
Nice.
It's wild.
That's...
And I was looking up a picture of him in the Ghost Camaro. Like, he's still alive. He's obviously not doing that anymore.
No.
And, dang it. And he still owns the car. His wife hates it. I mean, I get.
No, that's an IROC.
Yeah, first gen. I get why she hates it, but it's like, that's a hero car.
Yeah.
You can't get rid of that.
Yeah.
I'd get rid of the woman before I got rid of the car.
Depends.
I mean,
Car still run?
Yeah. He drives it. He takes it to car shows.
You drive a hard bargain. See what I did there? Hard bargain.
Yeah.
Driving.
Yeah.
Car.
Yeah.
You got any more?
Wiener.
Real hero? No wieners. Wieners were not mentioned.
Well, the other one was Sam Childers, because I had watched the movie again.
Mm-hmm.
He was the machine gun preacher.
Mm-hmm.
He started off his life as a biker, did a bunch of bad stuff, a bunch of drugs, and he, hit rock bottom, decided he wanted to change his life, started going to church, and for some reason he felt called to go on a mission trip to Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Goes to Africa. I can't remember the country that he was in that bordered Sudan initially, but some of the rebels from the southern part of Sudan come over to this safe zone where he was at, and he just was talking to him, and he asked him, well, will you take me over there so I can see? Because Sudan was in a civil war. It was like an active war zone. So he ends up going over there and sees a child that was hit by a landmine, and that's when he goes, I need to help. I don't know what I can do, but I'm going to do what I can. And so he ended up coming back to the U.S., getting a bunch of money, going back to southern Sudan, and he builds a orphanage for children because Coney and all them were operating there and still do. They'll steal children and make them child soldiers in the army. So what he's done is he's gone and done raids to get those children out of there, take them to the orphanage, and he lets them stay until they can, become adults and actually go join society. Because most of the orphanages there, they kick the kids out at they're 15 and they can't go to work or anything. So they end up going back to that. And instead, he goes over there and he defends the orphanage by force if necessary. And it's been very necessary many times because he is over the line into the danger zone. That's where the orphanage sits.
That's called Machine Gun Preacher?
Yep. Like, he's been in many a firefight defending these children.
I think there's a Machine Gun Preacher movie made about him.
There is. It stars Gerard Butler.
I thought it was Gerard Butler.
Yep.
Neat.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to cling on to the stories of the real life heroes unless I'm like seeing them in a movie, because then I'll sit and cry with them.
I understand. Oh yeah, dude, Machine Gun Preacher, you'll cry.
I did
a lot.
I did. That's how I knew it. I remembered because I synced.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also different stuff about the characteristics of heroes of war. Just because it's kind of, I don't know. It's like, depending on what they did, like Chris Kyle.
Yeah. It's very different when it's like military ones, because I've also watched a lot of those. I'm watching a lot of the Fat Electrician, because he does like military style, like hero stories, not stories, but and some of them are really cool, like the Eager Beavers and some of the others. And he also does some funny ones sometimes, like the Band of Beavers.
What is that? Is that different?
Yeah, the Band of Beavers was literal beavers that they parachuted. Beavers had infested this one area, and they needed them out of there because they were damming up the rivers, causing big troubles with like farms and stuff. So the military gets together and they go, well, we need to get these beavers out of here because they're destroying this ecosystem. Here's this place like 100 miles away that we can release them, and it'll be beneficial for everybody, including the beavers. Mm-hmm. So they have to devise a way to do it, and they determined that the best way to do it was to drop them in by parachute, because trucks can't make it in there. It's a very remote area. The only way to get there is by flying. And you know what a really cool thing is? If you like have a beaver in a cage and then you fly it through the air and then land again and it bumps around and stuff and it doesn't really know what people is. You know what's really cool? Opening that cage because of course he's not going to be pissed off. So they decided to parachute him. So the first one, they named him Geronimo.
Of course.
Of course, yeah. He was the test. He was the guinea pig. So they devised these boxes to where
And they think
when they hit the ground,
speaking on the behalf of beavers, they find that term derogatory.
what beavers?
No, guinea pigs.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So they get Geronimo and they build a wooden cage because, if it doesn't open, guess what? It's a beaver.
Yeah.
Like, he'll just chew to that shit.
Yeah.
It's cool. So Geronimo ends up making 10 to 12 jumps to the point where it was a fun game for him. Like, he would run over and they'd let him put him in the box and go and then drop him again.
Yeah,
yeah, he was like, "This is fun, Dad."
I hate humans. Oh, this is fun. Let's do it again.
Yeah. They named it Operation Beaver Drop. They get all the beavers, they put them in the boxes, and they fly over there, drop them in. And Geronimo was released with the rest of them to start a beaver family because they need so many females to so many males, and so he was dropped with his own little harem.
So is he put over there to repopulate in a different area?
Yeah.
Huh. As a form of warfare?
No.
Or like
As a form of please don't be here.
Just relocation as opposed
it was
to
just
like
relocation.
That'd be some hella warfare right there, just dropping animals out of the sky that would breed and ruin their ecosystem.
Well, the U.S. did design a bat bomb. It was never deployed, but the thought was...
What kind of bat bomb?
A bat full of bombs that once it exploded, it released a bunch of bombs. Or not bombs, bats, sorry.
Wait, hold on. A bomb that explodes that
it doesn't explode. It comes apart and releases a bunch of bats.
So a bomb that disassembles rapidly, releasing
Yes.
a bunch of bats.
Yes. That would be carrying something toxic to people, but okay for bats.
I don't like that as much as I like just the use of sheer fear with the bat bomb.
Well, I mean, what about the Nazi tick bomb? That one's worse.
I don't like that. What is that? The Lyme disease ticks?
Yeah, that's how we got Lyme disease.
I thought so.
Yeah.
I thought that was correct, but I don't. I have a lot of miscellaneous, fictitious information up here, mixing with my actual information.
And unfortunately, I have Lyme disease.
Do you?
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah.
Because you had it once.
Yep.
And it's in your body forever.
Yep. It lies in there dormant like some kind of fucking demon.
One of these days.
To where one day you could wake up.
And you're dead.
No, not necessarily dead. But it can come back. And then you can get itchy. It feel real bad. Some people, they have horrible symptoms for the rest of their life. I'm not one of those. But also, with Lyme disease comes its not-so-sexy cousin, Bell's palsy. So I could wake up one day and have my face not work for a while. But then come back.
Mm-hmm.
It's this thing I struggle with every day.
That'd suck really bad.
Mm-hmm.
Especially,
I mean, have you ever slept kind of funny and you woke up and part of your face was kind of like a sleep feeling? You ever done that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I woke up like that one time and had a panic attack because I was like, "Is today the day?"
Well, I mean,
it wasn't the day.
I would hate to have that happen. I mean, especially if you're in a Billy Squire cover band. Stroke! Stroke! Stroke me! Stroke me! That's not funny!
It's not funny, man.
That's Bell's palsy! Fuck you, motherfucker!
Matt had that once.
He did. His was like a reaction, I think, to like antibiotics or something.
Something like that.
Something like that. Shoo. I knew somebody that used to have it. They would come and swim at the YMCA. Whenever I was a lifeguard in the summer, she had it like permanently.
That would suck.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't. That's shoo. That's
Yeah.
a bad time. Speaking on heroes, I had a pretty good little example of hero stuff happen from a mythological source. Also Disney, Hercules.
Hercules.
Whenever you get down into it, whenever Zeus is describing to him, because you think of hero and you're thinking all these amazing feats and these things he's done and he died, but he go, but he died, but he died.
What was the score?
Huh?
What was the score?
What do you mean the score?
Like, if he had these amazing feats, what was the score?
Oh, I mean, he had his own sandals made for him, so he had to have at least like a 4-2.
Heck yeah, I'll look it up.
What was Hercules' feat? On the...
Hercules wiki feet. I'll look it up.
Oh. So Hercules, Zeus told Hercules, you know, he's beaten every monster and villain that's come along his path. He's like, I'm an action figure. He's like, how am I not worthy of being? How am I not a worthy hero? And he's like, there's more to being a hero than simply defeating your enemies. And it's like, well, what is it? He's like, you'll have to discover that for yourself. And then after he discovers it for himself, after diving into the depths of Tartarus to retrieve Meg, after Hades threw her into the giant suction funnel of souls that were thrown away, he sacrificed himself to save her, and now he's a god. Okay, cool. So the idea of being a hero isn't this isn't. I mean, what did he say? Hold on, I can remember it. He said, "Isn't." Oh man, I hate it. You have a thing, Tiny. I'm gonna think.
Well, I couldn't find Hercules' feet on WikiFeet, but I found Pablo Heredia. He's got a 4.77.
Go Pablo.
Yeah.
Go Pablo. That's high remarks.
Yeah, I don't know who he is, but
That's high remarks though.
yeah, that's higher than Danny DeVito.
Yeah, but Danny DeVito's got some unique feet.
He has oddly high wiki feet.
They're really unique feet. Oh, but basically, I can't remember what it says now because I'd garden. But it's the hero isn't the strength isn't in his achievements, but the strength of his heart. Something along those lines. And it's he had to make that ultimate sacrifice to be able to prove that he had the heart of a hero as opposed to just the strength of a hero. Thanks for joining us, everyone. If you want a little bit of extra grapes, all you got to do is get onto the TikTok. There's some shorts on there highlighting some of our funnies that we've had along the way. I'm the only one on TikTok a lot of times, just doom scrolling and just carrying on, so that's why it's on my TikTok. So if you want to get on there, look up austin.shazam.phi on TikTok. You'll be able to find all the grape reels on there, as well as getting onto our Patreon for some extra squeeze. For $5 a month, you will have an extended episode that is uncut directly from record button to record button. No shenanigans are left out. If you get on the $10 tier of our Patreon, you get the uncut video as well, along with special videos and special segments that we do just for the $10 tier. Get on there, get all of our extra content, help support the podcast, and we would appreciate it greatly.
That's my peanut butter.
Have you ever been sitting in your car listening to us and you go, I wonder what these two chuckleheads look like while they're, laughing hysterically, or I just really want to see the reaction? Get on YouTube. You can see that there. The video releases every Friday. I mean, it's not uncut like, if you was on a Patreon, but you still get to see. And then if you scroll down to the description, you look there, there's a link that'll take you over to the Discord. We call that the Backyard Bonanza. You can talk to us directly. We're on there live, uncut, uncensored, and irrevocably circumcised.
Morals.
Yeah.
Of the stories.
I mean, it's in line with the
And Michael Bolton.
mythology.
Michael Bolton sang one of the versions of Go the Distance, which was the main song from that movie. And
I mean, that's a real good song.
Michael Bolton did a fucking great job with that
I've never
song.
heard a bad rendition of that song.
I watch a lot of American Idol.
Well, I mean, that's fair.
And it's been out long enough that there's been a couple of
Well, I mean, I'm just talking about randomly Googling covers of it. That's what I'm
coming across while you're now it's in my vocabulary and my head. So as you're stumbling across stuff on your TikTok while you're scrolling and you see just people doing covers of songs, every time that I've seen one be Go the Distance that way, that's the same reaction. Nobody's just fucking around with that song. They're getting out there and they're doing it.
Yeah, I mean, Peyton Parrish did a really good cover. But the more I see Peyton Parrish, the more annoyed I am by him.
Why is he getting skinnier every time?
No, all he does is the same like hand motions every single time. And he has a lot of hand motions. Like he interpretively dances to every word he sings, and it becomes the most irritating thing to where I don't even want to hear his shit because I know what he's doing with his body.
Do you remember Nick Patera?
No.
Nick Patera was a YouTube singer that can sing in male and female parts as far as vocal ranging.
Not a clue.
He used to do A Whole New World from Aladdin and sing both parts, male and female.
Was he in like what's that acapella group?
Seems like he could be, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
That was some good singing right there. If you want some good Disney's right there, because I remember him seeing that and being able to split his voice like that, like go directly into like that.
I
Female.
mean, that would be neat.
Like it sounds like a female.
Oh yeah,
and it's a male.
is it the same guy that sang? Oh God, I Can See Fire with Bobby Bass.
I don't know. I just that was a long buffer night. That's a long buffer night. That's the title of her.
That's a movie I made.
Ooh.
We keep it in the back room.
That's you got to go through you got to have an ID.
You got to go through that special.
You got to have an ID if you're going through those beads. Let's see. In the moral complexity of a hero and a good guy, the hero is going to be. It can be a morally gray or flawed hero, just like your anti-hero or your tragic heroes, like your Beowulfs, which is also an epic hero.
It's true.
And then a good guy generally is going to be straightforward and morally consistent. So it's going to be something that's not going to be wavering back and forth on like where do they stand on things, like they are that person, like Mr. Kim from Kim's Grocery. He's moral good guy, but he's not a hero.
I don't know what that is.
Even though he served in the military. You never saw Kim's Convenience?
Is that the name of a show?
Yeah.
Then no.
Oh, it's funny.
Okay.
You should watch it.
Is it like an animated thing?
No, it's a Canadian show about a family from South Korea.
I'm not Canadian.
I'm not either, but it's on Hulu, I believe.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
It was like, where would I have watched this?
Well, it's like Letterkenny. You've seen Letterkenny.
I've not.
It's kind of quick funnies. It's got Trevor
I've seen
Wilson.
a couple of the scenes, like where they're sitting there playing like catch.
It's got Trevor Wilson in it, and he's funny.
Oh, no, he's hilarious.
We would have never known about the Crunchberry embargo if it wasn't.
I knew about the Crunchberry embargo before I knew about Letterkenny.
Yeah, because the Crunchberry embargo, that's from Trevor Wilson.
Honestly, I would watch that show just because he's in it, not for any other reason.
His name is Squirrely Dan.
Yeah.
And he is pretty much the same as the character as he is on the stage.
Yeah, I can see that because he kind of was in that like clip that I saw.
Mm-hmm.
I think they were talking about like butt sex or something,
You never know.
or like a finger in the butt or something. They're like, because they're all playing catch and Squirrely Dan, he's like, I don't know, man. And then he says something real weird, and then the flannel guy turns to the other guy and he's like, so we're just playing catch now. And he's like, guys, it's not that weird, and they're just.
He doesn't exist anymore.
He just does not exist.
They cold shoulder him.
Yep.
Letterkenny's got a lot of funnies, and then after Letterkenny's over, you can watch Shoresy. I thought Shoresy was funny, but I like the way that Letterkenny delivers their humor because in some of their points of humor, it's just a quick back and forth, just pap 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 pap, and you got to keep up.
See, I am a fan of the quick banter.
The quick banter.
Because honestly, that was some of the best parts of Gilmore Girls was just that quick, witty banter back and forth.
Yeah. I never watched the Gilmore Girls.
It was a great show.
I do like watching the clips from the Gilmore Girls where you can tell how cheap of a set that they had to deal with.
Cheap.
Like one episode, it was snowing and they had to walk in the snow, and it was actually just a white sheet put on the ground.
Yeah.
The magic of television.
Yeah.
It's been snowing. Look how deep this snow is. Fluff crunch, fluff crunch. What you got any more real life heroes that you could interject into this episode?
Those about the only ones that I had on deck.
Well, I mean, we've already talked about other ones like Sergeant Stubby.
Well, I mean, now if we wanted to get into like war hero kind of things, there was the Eager Beavers. They were cool. They were a bomber crew.
Different from these other beavers that were real beavers.
Correct.
Okay.
They were called the Eager Beavers because they volunteered for the most dangerous missions, and they did more missions than anyone else. They were also some of the most highly decorated. They were the most highly decorated bomber crew in the military at that time. I can't remember their names, so I'm not even going to go into that.
Okay.
But the pilot and the main gunner, they defied orders a lot. And it was because they thought they knew better, and oftentimes they were right. So that's why they didn't end up in court stuff. They ended up getting grounded after doing all these crazy missions. And so they're like, okay, we're not allowed to fly anymore. You took away our plane. Well, where they were stationed, there was an airplane graveyard. So they said, you know what? Fuck it. We're going to build our own. So they build their own bomber. I want to say it was a... Well, the name of their plane was Old 666.
Cool.
And they equipped it with more firepower than any of the other ones at the time. Like, there was a waist, like, they put a gun at the front, which none of the other ones had. That was the weak spot on this particular bomber. There would be 2 guns for the waist gunners, which there were 2 of them typically, but there were 1 on this crew because he said... Because the pilot said to him one time, because the pilot was the lead of the crew, he goes, do you want us to find you another gunner? He said, these are my guns, and I'm going to shoot all of them. And so he had, like, dual 50 cal machine guns on each side of the plane, where there were normally just 130 cal on each side. So anyway, crazy decked out this plane.
So instead of a checka,
Yeah, and then you could turn around and... Yeah.
So instead of like Pauly Shore being cold, it's Arnold Schwarzenegger being cold.
Exactly. And the one on the front, they called it the Snozzler gun.
The Snozzler gun?
Yeah, because the schnozberries taste like schnozberries.
Are you serious?
No, but they called it the Snozzler gun.
Okay.
That's a real fact. That's a real fun fact.
Why would they call it the Schnozzler gun?
Because they're goofy guys that did some stuff.
So they're just... What's a schnoz? Nose?
Yeah.
That was the one on the front of the...
Yeah, they put it on the nose, like down the rivets.
So that's the nose gun.
Yeah.
The schnoz.
Yeah, the Schnozzler gun. And so, in order to build this plane, they didn't steal anything. They strategically transferred equipment to an alternate location. And because some of these parts, like these brand new engines, were meant for other planes... And they're like, hey, they're taking our stuff. We should take our stuff back. And they're like, well, you can, but you got to fight. I can't remember his name, but one of the crew members like, you got to fight him.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, we don't want to fight him. So they got away with it.
Played by Alan Ritchson in the movie.
Exactly. Oh, yeah, absolutely. But he was also like one of the smarter ones. Well, they were all smart. One of them was like a mechanical prodigy, and one was an engineer. Okay. He was one of the 2. So, and they basically said, you can try to take it, but just so you know, these 50 cals are loaded. So nobody did anything. Well, they ended up needing some footage of this particular area before they launched D-Day, because there was a bunch of reefs, like a bunch of soldiers could have died, but they needed trimetragon footage. Don't ask me what that is. I don't know, but it's like 3 cameras focused in on a certain way to give a very detailed picture. Do you actually know what that is?
I was going to say that.
Okay. I mean, I'm sure there's more to it than that.
No.
I don't know.
It's triangulated footage.
Okay. Cool.
They had it in... You've never seen the Top Gun movies, have you?
No.
Okay. Continue.
So they needed someone to get this footage. And... because it's basically a suicide mission, they would have to fly in a perfectly straight line at a specific speed for like 30 minutes in enemy territory. It's heavily guarded. So like it was like a 1 in a million chance that you're going to actually be able to do this and not get shot down.
Yeah, but you got all the buffs.
Exactly. They were the main characters that had plot armor.
Yeah.
So the pilot's like, yeah, I'll do this. Oh, mind you, the pilot had like bad eyesight. Also, that's an important thing, but it doesn't matter at this point.
He's already flying.
He's
Doesn't
already
matter
flying.
if he passes
well,
the
no,
test.
Well, he couldn't pass the test, and he was trying to correct his eyes, and basically was told by a doctor, if you go stare at the sun so long every day, it might fix your eyes.
Shut your mouth.
Yeah, like for real.
Like his eyes are
Like
fucked
for reals.
already, and they
Yeah.
said, "Hey, go fuck them worse."
Yeah, yeah. But he ended up making his way into pilot.
Hell, at like 5 o'clock in the afternoon at Vape Sack Prime right now, it's the kind of time of the day that you can get eye damage.
Exactly. Oh, exactly.
Like-
especially that one door.
Like, yeah, well, it
Well-
goes from being like, okay, well, it's bright outside to,
If I remember right, I could be naming the wrong gentleman, but I think his name was Dick Bong. Anyway, so he
of
had,
course it would be.
yeah. I mean, he was a legitimate war hero. I could be thinking the wrong name. Don't quote me on that one. But the pilot, he had also devised ways to do fighter plane maneuvers in this big B-52 bomber. But anyway, so I'm getting off track.
No, you're doing a good job.
So he sees the mission. He gets approached about the mission. He accepts the mission. He goes to his guys and he's like, all right, guys, I'm not going to ask y'all to do this. I'm going to give you the choice. You can do it if you want. And basically they all went. The co-pilot was quoted as saying at one point or another, it's like, we were going to go wherever he went. If he wanted to attack hell with a squirt gun, we would have went with him because we could have accomplished the mission. We could do anything
Because he was
as
hell bent.
as a group.
Yeah, he was hell bent.
Yes.
Did they get to saw anything down?
No. Well, I mean, they sawed down a lot of the enemy
Or that's what I meant.
over the time. Well, this particular mission didn't go so great for them.
Oh,
Once the Eager Beavers were committed to it, they're like, hey, you know how we want you to do this thing that you're probably going to die doing and is next to impossible to do? Well, how about you do this other thing too? We want you to go up north. You don't need the Trimetragon footage. We just need footage. Just 'cause. And he was like, fuck you, okay. So he gets in there and he's like, well, if we don't want to do it, we're just not going to do it. Because they got grounded for defying orders anyway. So they get there and like the weather conditions weren't quite right at the time that they left. And because they're waiting on it's time. And so he talks to the crew and the cameraman. He's like, hey, it's up to y'all. We can go up north and do this for extra credit, or I can just basically do just a big old circle over here, and when we come back, we'll do it. And they go, we'll do it. Fuck it, why not?
yeah.
So they go up there, they get that footage, no problem. They're 18 minutes into the 20-minute flight to get this Trimetragon footage. And they have to, like I said, maintain a certain speed. They can't tilt the plane 1 single degree or anything. And they get to a certain part over the enemy lines where they basically unveil, that one of the elite fighter squads for the Japanese military was stationed there.
Of course they were.
Yep. So they fly up and they, start a shootout. 2 of the Eager Beavers died on the way back, but here's the impressive part, and one of which was the pilot, because the co-pilot tried to take over after he basically got shot from stem to stern. He was like, I'll finish flying. He goes, no, I can do this. You can't. Because also 2 of the engines got knocked out on the plane. A lot of the steering mechanisms were disabled from the plane. He was having to manually attenuate the thrust of each of the engines to turn the plane while he's bleeding out and his intestines are in his lap. So he's flying the plane back, throttling the engines different ways, managed to land safely, and passes away like 5-6 minutes after landing. And one of the other members of the crew also passed away. But they managed to get the footage. D-Day happened, and we know the rest of the story.
They're our Rogue One.
Yeah, exactly.
They're the Rogue One of WW2.
Yeah, Yeah, exactly.
They're how we got the schematics to penetrate the Death Star.
Yeah, exactly.
That's dope.
In a plane that they built themselves after they had theirs taken away for being bad.
In a pod racer.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Oh my god. That's cool.
Oh yeah, dude. There's so many just awesome stories of people doing stuff. The limping lady is cool. I don't remember enough to recount the limping lady, but she was a big spy for the U.S. during World War II, and she was also an amputee, hence limping lady.
Oh, well, that's rude, but also
No, she used that as her code name.
that's not as
Right?
rude.
Yeah, it was like a her choice deal.
That's cool as long as it wasn't a coined.
No,
So,
it was an adopted.
fine. Acceptable.
Mhm.
Acceptable.
Acceptable.
So in summary, all heroes are good guys, but not all good guys are heroes.
Yes.
Okay. Except when you're getting into the depth of morality of heroes, when sometimes they're not such good guys, but they're accomplishing heroic goals
Yes.
that are good.
Yes.
Like Severus Snape from the Harry Potters.
Yeah, such a good one. You don't even know till the end.
You
either.
think he is just
You think he's like a villain and one of the worst.
you think he is like a fistula on the crevice of your anus.
Yeah.
But it turns out he's actually saving your life because he's
Exactly.
stopped a blood clot down there.
And Alan Rickman did the perfect portrayal.
He did.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, he did a great job. We've also got some stuff like Izuku Midoriya from My Hero Academia, who is both a hero and a good guy. He is self-sacrificing. He's determined to save others, even at great cost. Because
Cost to himself.
yeah, because them powers, he wants to use them like All Might uses them, but that body ain't ready.
No.
He's like, well, I've seen All Might do this. Why did my arm just shatter?
Well, then even after he learns, he's like, maybe if I just hold it back a little bit. Well, I mean, just like the fight with I can't remember the Ice and Fire guy's name.
Oh, Todoroki?
Todoroki, yeah. Where he wouldn't give up and he was using just one finger at a time and slowly breaking his hand and
Yeah.
arm. It was like, bruh. And all of that was just to fix a moment that Todoroki was having. Todoroki was having a fight in amongst himself.
Yeah.
So he was literally sacrificing his body to help his friend not be sad.
And this is like fantasy world stuff. And he fucks himself up so bad in fantasy world where they've got like magic healing stuff that the magic healing folks was like, we're not going to be able to fix you anymore.
Yeah, like you've hurt yourself so bad that we can't fix it completely.
Like this can't be repaired anymore. Like you're not going to be able to be fixed if you keep breaking your legs like this. Like I'm talking like he had one point to where all of his arms and legs and like ribs and everything, like, his whole body broken.
Yeah.
Just because he was having to fight somebody that was so much stronger than him, but it was going to kill everybody else.
Yep.
He wasn't
And
going to
he
let that
managed
happen.
to succeed, but he also like liquefied himself
Mm-hmm.
and did it willingly. Like was planning, what can I break now where I can still fight?
Yeah, he was. Later on in the show, have you watched much later on into the show, or you just watched a little bit of it?
I need to get back to it, but I haven't.
There's a whole lot of it, and then they're coming out with. They finished the manga, I believe, or they are in the finishing stages of the manga, so the story's about to be completed, so the animes can finally complete themselves.
Awesome.
So then you can watch it all together, because there are some spots to where I'm going to have to get on some archives and find out how to skip through things,
Yeah.
because I've watched a lot of the recent ones, but there's chunks that I've skipped just because I can tell like this is a filler, this is a filler, this is a
Yeah.
filler.
Well, I mean, the best part was the hero killer stain arc.
Yeah.
Just saying.
There's a new one called My Hero Academia Vigilantes that actually gives a backstory to how he became who he is.
Oh, that'd be cool.
He was involved in it.
Yeah.
How he becomes stained.
Nice.
You know, it's been a while. Let's see. There's one more that I wanted to mention, and this is from an isekai that if anybody needs an in-depth isekai to watch, or isekai, however you want to pronounce it, meaning other world. His name is Subaru Natsuki. He's from an anime called Re:Zero.
Is that the one with the heavy guy that was like an assassin?
No. No. That was
Because that one actually looks kind of fun to me.
it's on Netflix. Something Days.
Ah.
I can't remember what it is, but this is from one called Re:Zero. Basically, he's reborn into another world, but he has nothing. No special perks, no powers except for one. When he dies, he comes right back to a checkpoint.
Okay.
And nobody else in that world does that. If they die, they die.
Hmm.
So he is a hero and a good guy, but he's emotionally volatile, but he's driven by love and duty. He grows into a true hero through repeated suffering and choice, because he dies countless times thinking like, oh, I'm just going to go over here. I'm going to fight these guys. I'm not going to let them kill this little girl. And then he goes over there to try to fight them, and he gets stabbed to death. He starts over again. He's like, no, I'm going to save that little girl. He gets stabbed to death. Save that little girl. Beat to death. Save that little girl. Stabs one of them. Gets a mortal wound on him. Gets beaten to death. So it's just like he's not. Oh man, I've cried so many times watching this show.
Ooh, I've got an example.
Give me an example. I like examples.
So, okay. One of my favorite series of books is called the Night Angel Trilogy.
Mhm.
Okay. You should read it. And oh man. I can't really. Okay. There's still an example in the same series. Dorian.
Yes.
So he is a prophet. He's the only living prophet. He is upper echelon in 3 different styles of magic, including the bad kind that nobody likes. The bad kind is in this country is like the bad country. Like they do a lot of bad stuff because their ruler's just the worst. And he knows even that. Well, the thing about his prophecies are they come true, but every time he does it, he loses some of his sanity. Because he saw that at a certain point, he's going to go into prophecy, and he's just going to be completely insane after that.
Yeah. Be lost to prophecy, basically.
Exactly. Just be lost. And because he kind of looks, he says that looking ahead is kind of like being a little stone in a big river. He's like, you pop out and you move to a different part of the stream, and you see what's going on there, and you pop back to your own. But when it does that, it's so jarring to his brain that sometimes it takes him a little while to recover. And so you find out that he was the son of the ruler of this horrible place.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was at one point going to, I think they call him the God King. If not, we're going to use that.
Okay.
He was going to basically succeed the God King because he was so proficient in what he did, and he had the gift of prophecy. Like, bitch, I can tell the future. And, he chose to, instead of doing that and being selfish, to leave and basically save the world instead of try to just rule this country with an iron fist.
Yeah.
And because of his actions of helping save the world, that's how he loses his mind and becomes completely insane.
So instead of doing so for selfish reasons to maintain the status quo of the area he was in, he decided to use those along the way to better the entire world that
Exactly.
he was in.
Well, he even at one point, because a lot of heroes oftentimes go through a bad phase, or they go through just a slump. There's a time where they're having some inner turmoil, because he does eventually go and become the God King, and he's like, I can turn this all around and make it all good, but it's all from a selfish thing. And then he, wakes up and goes, wait, I've been doing this. But he's like, as much as it sucks that I know that I'm going to be insane and not know even my own name or what's going on around me because I'm going to be lost in the stream of time, I'm still going to go leave and do what needs to be done in order to save the entire world.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a hero.
Yeah.
I think that Subaru from Re:Zero messed me up quite a few times, though, with some of the decisions that he made. because he has like this back and forth within himself that he's kind of just like a dude.
Mm-hmm.
He's just a dude, like, and he's not like naturally strong or noble. He just has to relive these lives so many times, figuring out like, well, I think it might be better if I had support. I can get support if I'm nicer. If I'm nicer, I'll be able to have friends. If I gain friends, I'll be able to. And it's just kind of one of those things, like having to rewrite from being like this selfish dickhead douchebag that now he's like going into this new world thinking it's a fantasy world. So I'm going to be the guy. I'm going to be the hero that gets the girl, and it doesn't work out for him. But instead, now I'm going to try to just resolve these conflicts, and it just so happens that girls are paying attention to him now.
Of course.
So he hates it because a couple of them have, like, one of them died along the way, and she didn't die because she's an ogre, but she's got like she's like a specified half-breed ogre that's a hybrid that looks like a small human. It's weird because ogres are typically ginormous, but it took the power of an ogre and put it into like a 16, 17-year-old kid kind of size.
Interesting.
But she had a bad time, and she's been like one of the permanent deaths in the show. That's like she's in a stasis, and you need to watch it just a little bit.
It sounds interesting
Because it's not like a everybody's screaming all the time anime kind of deal.
That's my only thing with anime is
I've started noticing that.
Screaming.
I've started pointing it out to Trudy because ever since you said that to me, every time I watch one that gets a little bit too screamy for no reason, I'm like, damn it, tiny fuck. Yeah.
Yeah.
But everybody, we've reached that time. It's been marked by the fireworks outside that it is the end of the episode. Thanks very much for joining us.
Closing time.
Open all the
Time
doors.
for you to go and get the fuck out of here.
Well, I just want to let you know I do apologize because I've been keeping track of the timestamp over here because about 22 minutes ago I had to scratch and adjust myself, and this new angle of the camera might have caught me adjusting and scratching because I've got to pee so bad for the last 45 minutes. I've had to pee. I'm over here floating, and it's to the point to where now I'm like I'm going backwards in years to where now I got to like worry stone it because I got to go to the bathroom so bad. So.
Well, I mean, it's going to have a lot of it cut off to fit in the 9x16.
Oh, you're talking about the digital cut. Oh, shoot.
Yeah, in the video.
Like, I don't need another circumcision. I'm already snipped.
Have you ever thought about getting a flat top?
Thanks for joining us, everybody. If
balance plates on it.
If Severus Snape's walking into the room holding 2 grapes in his hand, and
I'd call it Voldemort. If your dick had a flat top, it could be Voldemort.
Dick Flat Top. It's the name of my band.